Yes, and so in my last video, I wanted to say something and I had a mind freeze. What I actually wanted to say was try and verify your number and obviously verify your name. Verify your number with your phone number, verify your name via Facebook. Anyway, let's go straight to the point. How to keep the price high or the price of Pi high during mainnet. Now, this is when we've now gone into mainnet. Last time I talked about mainnet. This time is when we've gone into mainnet. So, what we need to do when we've gone into mainnet. Now, please, let's grow this community, of course, by putting the word out. Now, if you stop watching, I stop producing. Remember that. You stop watching, I stop producing. So you need to make sure you put the word out there. Let my channel also fatten up, just like my portfolio. Okay? Yeah, my people, I love you all. I love you all. I'll be right back. So yes, the name is Ray, and this is my channel, Race United, and I'm back. Now listen, what do I want to say? Let's say hypothetically we're in mainnet, and we want to keep the price of Pi high. Keep it high, obviously, because remember, you've mined it, right? You've mined it, so you want to keep the price of Pi high, so your portfolio fattens up, right? What do you think you have to do? These are the questions that people have been asking me. But I've done my research. I may be right. I may be a bit right. I'm not wrong. Remember that. I am not wrong. But one thing I need to tell you is you need to, first of all, understand crypto in general. You need to understand crypto in general. Because if you don't understand how it works, when to buy and all those stuff, I'll talk about that in the next point. But you need to make sure you understand crypto in general. If you don't understand crypto, the problem you're going to have is you think you have a lot of money, whereas you don't actually have a lot of money, because what's happening is your portfolio is about to fatten up. And it's about to fatten up, and you're just thinking, oh, because I have a little, let me just, go ahead with it. No, that's not how you do it. Understand crypto first. I've seen so many people in this thinking that it's a one-day thing and they're going to make money once we're on mainnet. Of course, you make some money, but remember, there are ways that we could do things technically. Now, this is where the technicalities comes in. So it's not just you wanting to make money, but it's about the core team doing things behind the scenes for you and me. You understand what I'm saying? So don't sit down there and think that manna is going to fall from heaven for you, my friends. You need to understand crypto. And when you understand crypto, it's going to work out for you the way we intend for it to. You understand what I'm saying? So my next point, I will tell you what you need to do again. But remember, one of the things you need to do, don't forget, is to ensure that you understand crypto in general. So that's what I mean, general, which means you're like a GP, general practitioner. You're not a specialist. You're just generally having some knowledge. You get what I'm trying to say? And that way, you'll be fine. I'll be right back. So, number 2, what am I going to talk about? What's the second point I need to make that would ensure that the price of Pi remains high during mainnet? So the next one is, of course, buy, hold, or sell at the right time. Buy, hold, or sell at the right time. You get what I'm saying? Now, somebody might say, but how does that affect the price of Pi? Well, it affects you. You understand? Because if you buy a lot, you might think, it's going to work, but then you have too much in circulation, which means that the price dips. You understand what I'm saying? But then again, just as you're buying, somebody else is selling, making their mistake because you're buying at the right time, they're selling at the wrong time, or vice versa. You're selling at the wrong time, they're buying at the right time, or you're both buying at the wrong time, or you're both buying at the right time, or you're both selling at the right time, or you're both selling at the wrong time. So there are these scenarios and hypotheses that are happening that you need to understand when to do these things. Now, that stems from your understanding of crypto in general. However, if you want to be a specialist, and this is where you can attend tutorials everywhere. I do a bit of tutorial. Obviously, you have to pay some money. And I will show you, teach you exactly what you need to do to ensure that you know when to sell, when to buy, when to hold your crypto. Recently, Shiba Inu shot up, and I mean that. Right now, as I speak, it's shot up by 80%. My portfolio, of course, which means if you have $100, you have $180. How about that? 80%, I'll call it dividend in this situation. Sorry, that's it. So $80 of dividend added to my $100 that I invested. So I'm just telling you hypothetically, hypothesis. You get what I mean? That's not why I invested. It's a bit more than that. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. You need to buy, hold, and sell at the right time. If you do that, circulation, which I'm going to go into next, wouldn't be affected in a way. There's so many things you need to understand when it comes to crypto, my friends. It's not just about, how much is my Pi? I've got 200,000 Pi, which means if it's $10 per Pi, I have 2 million. That's not how it's going to work, my friend. People, I need you to understand how crypto works, of course. Understand it and don't buy, sell, or hold at the wrong time. Make sure it's at the right time. But you wouldn't know until you've learned it. So you need to understand crypto in general. I'll be right back. So I'm calling this particular third point. The coin circulation, of course, must be moderate in the early period. Why am I saying this? It's like money, fiat currency, which we call cash money. If the inflation is high, the value is low. Remember that. So if you take the UK, for instance, money circulation is not a popular thing. That's why the pound is so strong. Do you understand? Look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is so strong because circulation is not much. Which is why I think Shiba Inu is a bubble. It's probably a big bubble, not a small bubble, but it's still a bubble. People thought Bitcoin was a bubble, but now you can see Bitcoin is not a bubble. Even though that ship is sailing, it's still not a bubble. It was a bubble then. Now you can see the steady ship that they have. Obviously, we have Shiba Inu, which is all over the place. That's what's happening to that. But it's going up and up and up because it's in high seas. You understand? That's what Shiba Inu is doing. Very soon it's going to study. Once it studies, everything will be all right. You get what I'm trying to say? So you don't want Pi to be like Shiba Inu, trust me. Because if it's like that, our value will be low. Because we've already mined it. You need to remember that. So we don't need a 395 trillion SHIBs in circulation. It means we're going to have nothing. We need moderate circulation. When I say moderate circulation, I've done my calculation and everything. And when I look at it, a lot of people might argue. But I would say, if I want Pi's value to be, remember, it will lead me to my next point. However, this particular instance, if I want Pi's value to be $10, I think, and of course, our market volume will probably be about, let's say, 10 billion. Because we're not, we're new. So let's say 10 billion, we might only have to have 1 billion Pi's in circulation. Which means 10 divided by 1 is $10. That would mean that if you have about 200,000 Pi's, you could only probably, circulate. The way they're going to do it, you could only circulate about 5,000. You get what I'm saying? At a time. 5,000 at a time because they need to circulate. You can't be having 100 billion Pi's and our volume is 10, which we're going to have only 10 cents. That's what it's going to be worth. That will lead me to my next point. So I'm lecturing you here. I'm giving you snippets. But if you want to really understand crypto, join my classes. And if you join it, I'm going to teach you. before we launch on mainnet. Because when we launch on mainnet, it's going to be pandemonium. People are going to be scrambling for space, and it will be late. Because listen, I've learned things, and I've learned things the hard way. That's why my knowledge base is so broad. You understand? It's so broad because when you learn things yourself by the hard way, you learn it well because you make mistakes and you learn from them. I will be right back. So, my final bit is where I believe we can now keep the price of Pi high. The price or value of Pi, however you want to call it. A lot of people some people call it value, some people call it Pi, price. Call it however you want to call it. Those terms are similar depending on the context. However, I don't want to go into technicalities, even though I'm talking a bit technically like I told you I would. Right now, what I'm going to tell you is what you need to do. The final bit, which you need to do to ensure that the price of Pi is high or is maintained higher, is that we need to engage in the Pi economy, to drive the value or the price high. We need to engage in it. And to engage in it means, I remember back in the day when Vincent and the other core team member, the lady, I've forgotten her name, if you can remind me in the thing. Listen, I've had a mental block again. Is it Fanjao or Chanjao? Chanjao, Dr. Chanjao, yes. Dr. Chanjao and Vincent, when there was this video that one guy on Facebook posted, and they were saying that, listen, we need to be able to drive the price to ensure that when Pi launches on the market, on the exchange, we have a higher value, of course, but not too high. When it's too high, it's going to have a trough and then people will be scrambling to buy. That means your Pi token, as I will call it, remember, they can call it anything they want to call it, Pi coin. I don't want to say Pi coin yet because it's not launched. So Pi token will have no value or have little value. So we don't want that. What we want right now is to drive the value a bit higher, and we hold it. Once it launches on the exchange, we don't hold it anymore. But right now, we hold it. We hold the value. We can control the value. So what we need to do, we need to engage in the Pi economy, exchange goods and services. You understand? There's so many things going on. Look for the legitimate ones and do them. Don't be scared. Investment, when you're frightened, you can't be an investor. Investment is for people who are brave enough to know I can take 5-10% of my portfolio or my money and use it as an investment. Let it work for me instead of using it to buy trainers or using it to go clubbing or using it to just waste it on unnecessary things. I can just invest it and forget about it. You understand what I'm saying? When you invest money, now this is the trick. I'm going to teach you how to invest eventually. But when you invest money, snip it. When you invest money, make sure that money is not money that you need. If you need that money to buy stuff for your family or yourself, you can't invest that money because remember, investment is a risk. So money that you're normally going to spend on things that I deem unnecessary or futile, then you can use that as your investment. You understand what I'm saying? Therefore, if you lose it, you don't really cry about it. You get what I'm saying? So yes, the 4 points I made, first of all, was that understand crypto in general. It was a sequence. It flew into it. You understand what I'm saying? So it had flown into it. What am I saying? Anyway, let's just go straight to the point. So understand crypto in general, and then of course buy, hold, or sell at the right time. I explained that. And then of course the coin circulation must be moderate. So I've already explained the moderation of it. So you need to also understand, depending on whatever you have, so the sample. So if our market volume is about, or market cap is about $10 billion, then we want the circulation to be 1 billion. Therefore, we can get $10. If you want $1, 10 billion, 10 billion. If you want 10 cents, 10 billion, 100 billion. So 10 billion market cap, 100 billion circulation volume. So that's how it goes. Did you get the whole point? So that is how it goes. You get what I'm saying? That's the only way. Otherwise, it ain't going to happen. And then, of course, my final point was engage in the Pi economy to drive the value or price up. So once you engage in it, and, make sure you exchange goods and services with your fellow pioneers at a certain price. You not using fiat currency, using your Pi tokens. Remember that. Not fiat currency, not your money. Pi tokens. Because remember, you didn't buy the Pi tokens, you earned it. They're two different things. You get what I'm saying? So yes, guys, I'm a happy bugger, and I know that we're all enjoying what's happening. The name is Ray. The channel is Rays United. And the word is, say it with me, peace. My son wants some food. I'm going to feed him.